I call Jamie Lee Ross.
Move that the question be now put.
I'll hear from Reno Tirikatani.
Kia ora, Mr Chair. Thank you. Thank you, and I'm very pleased to speak on the title and commencement, sir. This will be my final contribution at this committee stage, I would imagine. But I want to return to, do want to return to the very first point that I made earlier today, sir, and that was the significance of the mound, the mound of stones which are there at Cathedral Square. Now that cairn was erected as a memorial by the people of Canterbury to mark their sense of loss at the fact that their democratic rights were stripped of them when the Environment Canterbury councillors were all sacked back in 2010. So, sir, that cairn marks, those piles of stones marks the loss of democracy, and it is actually more relevant now than it was back in 2010, because here we are 6 years down the track and those mounds of stones are still there. And so, as a suggested new title, sir, I would propose that we rename this bill the Environment Canterbury The Cairn Still Stands Bill or Act, because the cairn, that cairn represents the loss of democracy, and it won't be removed. It won't be removed until full democracy is restored to the people of Canterbury. Now, I know that this bill creates sort of a hybrid of half elected councillors and half appointees from the minister. But again, sir, that's not good enough. That will not open the way for the removal of that cairn, because, sir, half is not whole. The people of Canterbury erected that structure as a landmark for everyone to see and to remember that their rights were taken away, and so half is not good enough. And I'm sure that those stones which were collected from all of the rivers around the Canterbury region, you know, there might be some good hangi stones in there, I'm sure there are. But until democracy is restored, then perhaps those stones could be used for another purpose, to perhaps celebrate the restoration of the democracy for the people of Canterbury. And so, sir, another point that I did make, sir, was the appointment by Te Rūnanga o Ngāi Tahu of 2 appointees, or the recommendation to the Minister of 2 appointees, which will go through onto this new transitional body. I actually do support that, sir. I think it sets a very exciting precedent that mana whenua representation can go right direct to the actual council level, and to be equal and on par and be level with councillors at the regional council table. So I think that's an exciting development. I'm sort of going to be interested to know what will happen after 3 years, whether Te Rūnanga o Ngāi Tahu will still have those rights, will still have a level of representation at that level for mana whenua. But that could be another addition to the title, sir. Environment Canterbury, Transitional Governance Arrangements and mana whenua representation as well, to be included into the title, because that, as I've mentioned, that is a significant development which I know iwi up and down the country will be looking and studying this piece of legislation very closely, because I know that they are all very, very much have deep concerns for their natural environment, and if it's good enough for Te Rūnanga o Ngāi Tahu to lead the way, well certainly I know that iwi up and down the country will be wanting to follow suit as well, and they'll be expecting more from the Minister, expecting the Minister to deliver accordingly. So, sir, we've also, the Minister mentioned that we're continuing on in this transitional phase with this denying the people of Canterbury their full democratic rights, because effectively we need 6 more water zones to get put in place. The actual planning processes and the planned zones, or whatever the vernacular is for the resource management speakers, that needs to be put in place. And so I would encourage, as a final title, sir, 6 more zones getting done.
Jamie Lee Ross.